Welcome to Black Boss, where we highlight and celebrate entrepreneurship in the Black community. I'm your host, Michelle Forbes, and today I have the pleasure of having with me the founder of Boss Babes Love Brunch brand, Miss Jasmine Anderson. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, no problem. I know the people didn't hear, but as we were just talking, like I told you, I was looking on your Instagram and I was just so excited to see how you were able to come up with the idea and get it. I mean, even the curation of spaces, I even like, your wording of it. So for people who don't know Jasmine, please let them know, what do you do?
Yes. So we're going to start with Boss Babes Love Brunch. That's my baby. Just like you mentioned, I am the founder of Boss Babes Love Brunch. So it's a bunch of little words put together, but ultimately Boss Babes Love Brunch is a platform that unites women similar to us. It's for women that are entrepreneurs, creatives, professionals, ultimately to just have a space where we can cultivate, unite, and network and build relationships like this. So we have brunch events. We have a online platform where we utilize different social media platforms like Instagram, Clubhouse to kind of keep all of the boss babes together, communicating and, providing resources for one another.
Awesome. So when did you start Boss Babes?
Yeah, so Boss Babes Love Brunch. So, okay, a little more backstory on me.
Okay.
I have a brand called Sincerely Jasmine.
Yes.
So I've been doing events for, I hate to put an age on myself, maybe like 7 to 8 years.
I don't care, girl. Don't mind her.
So Boss Babes Love Brunch was one of my event ideas. So back in, I want to say September of 2018, that's when we had our very first Boss Babes Love Brunch. So ultimately, at that time, that's when, women empowerment was really becoming a trend. And for me, as a person who always, like, I've always been a girl's girl. I've always been so inspired and looking to aspire, women. Like, that's just been my thing, especially women like me that look like me, that come from neighborhoods like me, that might not have the resources and, to get to the next level or whatever it may be. So at that time, I was looking for a space where I can be around women like yourself to, be able to see and pick and grow and learn from them. But it wasn't a lot of networking events that I was going to, like whether professional or career-based. Like it was very like predominantly white, very much network up, the CEOs, the investors. And I was finding myself in rooms that I didn't always feel the most comfortable in. So networking has always been very important to me with my personal brand, as well as in my career. But I just found myself in these rooms with, older white people and older white men, or just people that was just there to get drunk and not really to network. And I started to feel a bit uncomfortable. So at that time, I wanted to do a women's empowerment event. It was my first exclusive event for women only. So it was taking a risk of obviously like pigeonholing my network a little bit, but I'm like, the boys can sit this one out. I think because that feeling that I was feeling, that I wanted to be around women like myself that can inspire me and motivate me and that I can collaborate with. I felt like that was a desire for other women too. So we had our first brunch, we had speakers, we had all women vendors, women sponsors, and it was a great turnout. I left that day full of like so much joy. Like I was so like, that was literally one of the happiest days of my life.
That's awesome.
So I couldn't just stop there. So after a few months passed, I'm like, I definitely want to do another brunch. But it just made sense to just kind of make it more than just an event series. I felt like the purpose of the event was way deeper than just the event. So here we are.
Yes, I want to say, and thank you for that background. I love that. It's I love entrepreneurs because you got to have some initiative, to be an entrepreneur. Those are really the things that separate you from the average person. You walk into a situation, you don't like, exactly what's going on there, or don't feel comfortable with what's going on there, but you still see the value in what that space is supposed to hold. So you didn't just walk away like, whatever, you went in. That's amazing.
We curated the space that, we all need. And like, obviously the pandemic hit, so it hasn't been as many events for us to connect, but
Right.
even being able to kind of use social media and just seeing how so many women are receptive to the purpose of the brand,
Mhm.
it just kind
Yeah.
of keeps me motivated to keep going.
Definitely. And it's a brand that it seems like a lot of women, like you said, unfortunately, because of 2020, it wasn't a lot of events and COVID and all of that stuff. But it definitely seems like a brand that people maintain connection to. You know, once they were plugged in, they continue to be plugged in, and you know, you have a good dialogue on your page of people who say it seems like a mix of people who have been there and looking forward to it coming back, and a mix of people who are like, oh, I'll try that place out. I've never been there.
Yeah,
So
exactly. And our girls,
yeah,
like I said, we have professionals, we have creators, we have entrepreneurs. Like, it doesn't have to be a certain type of woman because at the end of the day, I
right.
feel like we all, like, women supporting women in whatever aspect, whether it's a business aspect, whether it's a collaborative aspect, like what we're doing now, or just even just seeing some type of inspiration on Instagram where it's like, oh, she look cute. If she could do it, I could do it too.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I do want to go back for a second because I love that you brought up that Boss Babes Love Brunch is not your first venture in entrepreneurship, that you had the event. Um, was it an event planning? Was it a space, or did you go in and pretty much curate events?
A little bit of everything.
Okay.
I
Okay.
did have
Gotcha.
I did have an event space for a period that I kind of put on pause because of the pandemic.
Okay.
But originally, I'm very complex. So here's the onion. So originally, I had a fashion brand,
Okay.
and that brand led me to doing events like fashion shows. And from there, I will always try to add like a different aspect besides just fashion. So like maybe have like some type of performance or some type of like
Okay.
vendor, like something that was just a little bit different, whether a food,
Yeah.
beverage vendor, something that's outside of just fashion.
Mhm.
So then I got into the idea of like kind of doing everything, fashion, performances, like we just kind of meshed
Okay.
everything. So I had a series of events called the Melting Pot, and it was just like
Oh,
all
nice.
the creativity just all together. Um,
Yeah.
and from that just kind of led me into like, okay, I like events, like whether fashion focus or just entertainment in general, excuse me. So I just
Mhm.
found myself here in the entertainment industry, curating events. I work with different partners and clients to help them curate events,
Awesome.
do different like public relations things as far as like different marketing materials, different PR campaigns for clients. But yeah, it's a lot of things under the Sincerely Jasmine umbrella.
Okay. Well, it sounds like all of it came together to create, you know, pretty much what you have now. You have to got to take the steps for things to reveal. So
Yeah.
definitely, I understand that. That's cool. So, well, you told me what you were looking to accomplish when creating the brand. Do you feel like you have? I was about to say when you go and go ahead.
Yeah, honestly, so right now I'm preparing for our first event of the year. We did have a few virtual events this year. I did do an event last year, closer to the end of 2020 when things were like kind of reopening. Um,
Yeah.
but I was very hesitant to get back into this event world or like, to get back
Gotcha.
outside. Um,
Yeah.
but honestly, the way like the girls keep me motivated. Like honestly, it's really a community.
Yeah.
Like they'll tell you, like, girl, like they'll comment, like, yes, like tell me when is the next event. And
Right. Right.
that's like, emailing me, calling me, that's like, when's the next brunch? So it just was inevitable for me to keep it going. Like,
Yeah.
although I still do have moments of just hesitation and kind of being discouraged, and that just comes with entrepreneurship, I think.
Yeah.
I think the purpose of the overall brand ultimately keeps me going because it just keeps like, you gotta have another one. And even with the event that we're planning, we have a picnic that's coming up August 1st. And
Yes.
even with that coming up, it's like I didn't think people were gonna like. I'm like, it's not really a brunch, but like the feedback's great there too. So I'm just excited
Yeah.
to continue to feed the community.
Absolutely. That's awesome. How about to say, see, the girls are here for Black Girl Holiday.
Yes,
Yes. I was here for the Black Girl Holiday too.
yes. Shout out to Black Holiday.
Yes. Every day, every day. I dug that.
And shout out to whoever the designer of your shirt is. I was checking out your page and I'm like, I love
Oh,
that brand.
my black apparel shop. Got to shout her out again. My black apparel shop. That's where you go ahead over to
I love the
Instagram.
most is Aunt Viv, the dark skin one.
Bang,
The sad
bang.
one.
Yes, there you go. Had to represent. So, being a Black woman yourself and seeing so many Black women featured on your Instagram page, how important was it for you to, to create this place for Black women? Very important because you did it. I'm gonna say you answered more questions within your first answer, which is not a problem.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, I said which is not a problem at all.
But no, I also think that's a very relevant question because prior to the pandemic, I've always been hesitant to kind of again, I use the term pigeonhole, which is kind of negative verbiage, but pigeonhole myself to like, I don't want it to just like, I'm not only speaking to Black people or, but the deeper that I got into the brand and the purpose of the brand, it's for a woman like me. And I am a Black woman, so I've had conversations with business partners and colleagues where they're like, like, you don't always have to put for, women of color or for Black women. And I do sometimes like veer from the verbiage, but at the end of the day, this is a platform for women of color because the desire of feeling like the void that I wanted to fill is a space that we can feel comfortable in. And obviously as women in general, we have that feeling, but I think as Black women specifically, it's really just like, we go into these rooms, we don't feel confident to speak up for ourselves. We don't feel confident as business owners or as professionals going into these rooms trying to network. We make ourselves small. So on top of being women, we're also Black people who are Black women who are going into these rooms, and we have a lot of power, and we expect, a lot of respect that we deserve, but it's not always given just based on the fact that it's like you're a Black woman, and I think also just as a Black woman entrepreneur, I think it's like it's trendy, like that's cool for you guys, but I think they do put us into this box where it's like it's not progression. So I think it is very important to like highlight the fact that it is a space for us. And if other people come too, that's great. It was a desire of mine as a Black woman, so I do think it's particular to us because it's not always things aren't always made for us.
Right. Yeah, I absolutely agree with that, and kudos to you for standing up in it because I talked to Ron Green of Tribe World Apparel. I don't know if you're familiar with him. Okay. We had a similar conversation about, he had some nervousness about just going full into just a Black brand. Like as far as to put a fist, like this is for us. And just how that can be kind of unnerving. Like, and you use the word pigeonhole, and I hear that in what you're saying. And I understand the thoughts that can go through your head when you have to make that decision. But yeah, I was about to say, kudos to you.
Like, am I cutting down my, audience or my network? But then it's like sometimes it's okay for the rooms to be smaller. Like Boss Babes Love Brunch is meant to be intimate. It's meant for you to go in and find a girlfriend. It's meant for you to go in and follow at least three people on Instagram, and you like all their pictures from here on out. Like like that's your girl. Like it's not like event with my girlfriend and I left my girlfriend. We didn't talk to anyone. We came. We got some. No, like you're leaving with some sisters. Like I think it's important.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I love that, and I love that. I love that not only do you want to create the space to do it, but you're going as far as to making sure that people are actually engaging and it being what you want it to be. Because that is, as I said, that's a networking piece. And even like you said, being able to walk into a room of Black women and leave with contacts of Black women who are there to support you and there to, give advice when needed or whatever. Yeah, that's it's an important network to build. So I appreciate you taking the time and effort to build it for sure.
Yeah.
So about a week ago, you announced somewhat of a rebrand, discussing a new logo, new events, new merchandise. So what can we expect this time around from the brand?
Yes. So this is exclusive. So we got a new logo. We have a website coming. We have all new merch coming. Like in the past, like I wish I could show you right here as a sticker. In the past, we've done like small merchandise, like, stickers for our events. We've done mugs, t-shirts. But right now we're going to be venturing to different lines of merchandise. We have some jewelry that's going to be dropping.
Okay.
So hopefully the jewelry will be dropping at our next, not hopefully, the jewelry will be available at our next event on August 1st. We do have an event, which our early bird tickets sold out. So if you're in Philadelphia and you want to come support Boss Babes Love Brunch on August 1st, get your ticket before it sells out. Champagne and charcuterie, a luxury picnic experience. So a little bit outside of our typical brunch vibes, but it's really exciting to just venture into different types of events. Obviously, we'll keep the brunches coming. We'll keep doing some virtual initiatives. We did some yoga sessions virtually. So we have a bunch of new stuff coming. And just consistency. I would say the biggest thing for Boss Babes Love Brunch moving forward is consistency. I can take ownership of the fact that, well, obviously, that the pandemic was very discouraging. And like on top of brands and like other brands, and I just started venturing into real estate. There's been a lot of things just happening over the last year. But I know how important Boss Babes Love Brunch is to me and how important it is to our tribe. Like a bunch of consistency from the babes.
Yeah, I dig that. And it's funny that you just mentioned the real estate part. Because I was going to say, I saw you beginning your real estate journey as a landlord.
Yeah.
I was going to say, is that what you're doing? Well, how's that going?
It's been interesting. So you're here, Philly's just like a crazy market right now with the real estate. So it's always been a goal of mine. And the pandemic kind of like pushed me to like go for it now or never. So right now I currently have one tenant, potentially looking to have two tenants by the end of this year. But it's a process. It's a process. I just saw someone tweet on obviously on Twitter. They said to, if your family has property, like real estate property, like don't sell it. This young lady talked about how her grandfather, they sold the house and now they're like obviously like flipping it and selling it. I think the real estate industry, especially for Black people, Black women, if you have any type of ownership or if you're looking to get any type of ownership, I say, go for it. I think we get discouraged to like not want to go into industries that aren't necessarily made for us. A lot of industries are male dominant, white male dominant specifically. But I definitely think Black women are coming for the real estate industry.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a landlord too, so I dig that. I dig that. Absolutely. I like real estate. That's the game I'm a fan of.
I love it.
For sure. So you've mentioned doing a couple things at this point. You started in heavy events and then went in to be able to do events for the Boss Babes, and then you're also going into real estate. So how did you know when you were prepared to transition? Because as an entrepreneur, there's a couple things that not everybody just sticks and does the same thing. They kind of branch out. So how'd you know that you were prepared to branch out, and what was that balance like?
Balance.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. That's been my key word this year. I'm a Virgo. I don't know if that means anything to a lot of people. So I'm already just like I like to be cool. I take on a lot of tasks. What's your sign?
I'm a Sagittarius.
Oh, see, look, that's my rising. So
that's crazy. Okay.
So it's like I love taking on several tasks. Like I've always been like this since I was young. Like I always did. I didn't read books. I didn't been published and stuff like in elementary school. Like just extra. Like so, I've always been a go-getter, a hustler. Like I've always, the more pressure, the more on my plate, the harder I'll go. I think the biggest thing is that where you mentioned balance. So having Sincerely Jasmine, having Sincerely Realty, having Boss Babes Love Brunch, and still like having a life. My dog right here, I gotta take him for a walk after our interview. Right. It's a lot to balance, but I think the biggest thing is just like balancing the work and what makes you happy. And that's where I find out that I can show up to my day job. Like I still work a 9 to 5, and I plan on working a 9 to 5. I'm not one of those girls or one of those people that's like, quit your 9 to 5 for your business. Like I've ran successful businesses. I've stopped running successful businesses because I didn't want it. Like, you know what I mean? So do what's best for you. Do what makes you happy. You have to find a balance in, the money, the success, or whatever it is that makes you happy. And what really makes you happy. Like for me personally, I like brunch. So Boss Babes Love Brunch is really something that like a passion project.
Right.
I love events. I love women, and I love brunch. So it's not work for me. Like this is literally a passion project for me to be able to combine some of the things that I'm like most passionate about. Is like an escape from work for me to be able to kind of cultivate this environment that I can also enjoy. So I think it's really just finding that balance. Like I said, I love brunch. I love to eat. So me going out to brunch and be able to show y'all some brunch spots that y'all can check out, or being able to have brunch events where we can all eat and drink together. I'm like, I was gonna want to do this anyway. So it's a win-win.
Absolutely. Brunch is fantastic. Brunch is like a girl's best friend. What? Mimosas, just feels.
Got sick.
It's a peaceful place for us to come and commune.
Exactly.
Absolutely. So, in your time, and I guess being an entrepreneur, what do you feel have been some of your greatest wins and some of your greatest lessons?
Ooh, great question. Let's say I will be honest and say this question is very difficult because based on like type of like worker I am, I do not give myself as much credit as I should for my accomplishments. I kind of move on to the next thing, whether it's a successful event or, whatever the accomplishment may be. I kind of just move on like whatever the next task is. So it's
I'm glad I put you on the spotlight. What you do good, girl.
It's hard for me to soak those moments and be like, wow, this was great.
Absolutely.
I would say one of the biggest things I take pride in, like I said, I've been curating events for a while. I was a part of the A3C Festival, which is back this year. We'll possibly be joining them this year for 3 consecutive years, curating a show for them.
Nice.
So it's nice to be able to work with like a national platform for a national cater to like a complete different network. And I definitely feel like I built a super solid network like in Atlanta and just like with different artists off of that experience. So it's something I take pride in, like,
That's awesome. Definitely.
Yeah. What was the latter? What was the latter?
Yeah. Some of your greatest lessons. Or your greatest lesson in entrepreneurship.
Greatest lesson is that balance. I know that the whole hustle hard, and it's interesting how themes change throughout the year in entrepreneurship. Like, like every year is kind of different. When I first started, like wanting to have my own business or like do my own thing, it was like 24/7 hustle hard, like stay up all night, like, like late night, early mornings. Like that's how you really get it. Like people that sleep, they don't like you're better. Like, if you're up, then you're sleep, you're missing out. And I feel like I kind of had that embedded in me for a while where I'm like, okay, I gotta go, like, I gotta be steps ahead of the game. But I realized the better that I show up, well rested, mentally better, the better I am, the better my work is, the more like now I'm getting referrals. Now people at the here are wanting to hire me because they like, instead of just showing up cranky and then like stuff is half-assed, presentation's not finished because you stayed up all night and fell asleep. Like I just think that was my biggest lesson. Like take care of you. The better you are, the better you'll show up. And the better relationships you build, the better you are in those relationships. Like I have time to communicate with my clients because I set boundaries now. Before I used to be like rolling, like, oh, if I got to take a call at 10 o'clock, and it's like, I don't want to take a call at 10 o'clock. So at 10 o'clock, I'm kind of like a little sassy, like, or our conversation might have not be going the way that it could have went if it was a PM call, because that's when I'm like in a good headspace. Really just respecting myself, my own boundaries, and my time, really respecting my time. I love to sleep. I get my 8 hours every night. My phone goes on do not disturb at 11:15, and anything after that, I'll see it tomorrow. So just respect my time.
Yeah, I mean that sounds like not just a lesson in entrepreneurship, but a lesson in life. Like absolutely. I mean, just girl, you said a lot there. Just what with the boundaries and everything you just said as far as respecting someone's time and what they need to do for themselves in order to show up in a manner that's actually helpful to both themselves and other people. That's yeah, that's a life lesson. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, that's definitely a lesson in life. So I actually have another question for you, which is funny. Your last answer may have answered it, but I'll still go ahead and ask. If there, do you have, if there's any advice you could give someone looking to be an entrepreneur, what would it be?
Do what works for you.
Hmm.
Like I said, I've done different businesses. Like, like I've had a successful fashion business that, I think about all the time. Like I could be bringing that back, especially now that like everyone's like, we're in like a boutique like era, everyone has like their own small shops and stuff.
Uh-huh.
I was doing that. It was like everybody was still shopping with all big names. So not too many people were
Got
in
you.
smaller businesses. But we were still able to do really well. But that's just not where my passion lies.
Yeah.
So a lot of things become, it feels like work, so
Right.
depending on what it means to you, like do what makes you happy, do what you like, do what you can focus on. Because there
Yeah.
will be times where I'm like lazy here because I know I'm not passionate, or like I'm not responding to like press emails or certain things because I'm just not passionate there, and I don't really want to.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I think anything like where your passion aligns or whatever makes you happy aligns, you'll be able to show up your best there and do your best. The product will be the best. You'll be the best. Like everything will make sense because you'll actually love it. And
Yeah.
compared to just trying to force, like, here's a business, like, here's something that I want to do. Because I know that like everybody wants their own something. But I
Yeah.
think in it, your own, what is it like, something that you actually love.
Right. Right. Yeah. I think that's fantastic advice. Absolutely. Because if you don't love it, I don't think it's worth it. And I think I'd say from what you said, and I also, like you said, I think it's a learning process. So it's difficult to just kind of say like, all right, boom, boom, boom. Like
It's
you
different.
don't really know.
And it's like after 3 years, you're like,
Yeah.
checked out. Like,
That's for the birds. I don't know what.
it's not easy. It's not easy. Like you have
No, it's
to
not.
entrepreneurship, you have to do your marketing, like, or you have to hire someone. But there's so many aspects to a business, especially now with like social media, websites, like there's so many aspects to it. There's
Mhm.
gonna be so many things that's like, if you're not 100% passionate, you don't love it, you're gonna not check all your boxes. There's gonna be a lot of stuff that you just like rush in the process.
Yeah, yeah, agreed. Thank you, Jasmine. I appreciate you being here.
Lord, thank you. I'm so honored.
Oh, not a problem. I'm honored. I'm honored that you feel honored. I'd say I'm happy you're doing what you're doing. I'm happy that you're creating spaces for Black women to come together. And also, I know it's not specifically for Black women, so I want to stick to even more. But as a Black woman interviewing you, it's very heartwarming. It's nice to know that there's another Black woman out there who cares about creating a safe space for us to be ourselves and to help one another and to network and to be better and over mimosas. So, girl, I think you out here doing God's work as far as I'm concerned.
You got a way to make your tribe the over.
Yes.
Come on.
Absolutely, absolutely. So thank you again so much. I do have two things left for you.
Yeah.
First thing, please tell the people where they can find you and how they can support you.
Yes, you can find us on Instagram, Boss Babes Love Brunch. That's straight through, Boss Babes Love Brunch. I'm also on Instagram, Sincerely Jasmine. That's Jasmine No Vowels, JSMN. And that's about it for right now. We also have a mailing list, which you can catch on our Instagram. You can sign up for that. We also have a text list, which you can sign up for. Our website will be here soon. All new things coming, merch on the way. August 1st, hopefully we get to see some of you babes at the picnic.
Wow. Yeah, I was about to say, shout out the August 1st event again.
Yes, champagne and charcuterie, a luxury picnic experience. So we're going to have champagne cocktails. We're going to have cheese boards, personalized picnic setups for every boss babe. Super excited to finally get back. It's like I said, it's been at least 9 months since we've all been together. So I'm excited.
Okay. Oh yeah, it's exciting. Definitely exciting. So the second thing, Black Boss tradition. I have all Black Boss participants say their name and then say that they're a Black Boss.
Yes. I am Jasmine, sincerely Jasmine, and I am a Black boss.
Yes, thank you for that. I love when people do that.
This is great. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, no problem. I really, really enjoyed it. I enjoy getting to know you better as a person. I'm in full support. I would be at the August 1st event. I won't say unfortunately I'll be a Belize because I'm happy about it. But
Let's Boss Babes travel too. We talked about our travel list at the beginning of our call. Boss Babes travel.
Okay. I dig it. And I will yeah, I'll let people know. I'll spread the word. I was about to say I'm a Black woman with Black Woman Network.
Yes, and that's what it's all about. Collaborate.
Who love the brunch as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you so much. I don't want to take up any more of your time. You go ahead and enjoy your evening.
Thank you. You have a good night too.
You as well.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one. Bye. Thank you so much to Jasmine, founder of Boss Babes Love Brunch. And brunch is popping. I mean, she picked a good one too. It's not just Boss Babes Love Breakfast or Boss Babes Love Dinner. Like Boss Babes Love Brunch, yes, with mimosa. Actually, the small print, Jasmine, with mimosa. But thank you so much to Jasmine. I'm so happy to learn more about your brand. Please check out Jasmine's events, Boss Babes Love Brunch. Her August 1st event. Please, tickets are on sale now. Sounds fantastic. I've seen a lot of pictures of something like this being done that I know people would like to attend. I know my friends have pointed it out to me, so I will be telling them. But thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Black Boss. Please like, follow, share, subscribe, whatever is appropriate. And I'll be here with more motivation, inspiration, and information. So thank you so much for joining me again. Thank you so much, Jasmine. Please, to continue the celebration of entrepreneurship, head over to Black Boss _certified on Instagram, Black Boss Certified on Facebook. And for full episodes of Black Boss, check out Black Boss Certified on YouTube. Thanks, guys. Have a good one. Thank you again, Jasmine. Peace.